Excuse me. Hello.
Hello.
I think you're the only one that's on today, so we'll go ahead and get started if you're ready.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to let you be in control of your own mute. That way, if you have a question, you can say something since I can't see you on the video.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So if you want to come in to either seated or lying down, sometimes, especially if you sit all day, it's kind of nice to lie down and just get a little peace and quiet. So coming into either that seated or lying down position. And before we get started, just give yourself a nice stretch here, reaching up overhead. And take a big inhale through your nose. And sigh it out as you bring the arms down to the sides. And either close your eyes or have a soft gaze towards the ground. Let your body be heavy. Let the shoulder blades come back and down. Feel the seat or your back fully supported. Just take a moment and check in with your body. Check in with all the parts in your head. The shoulders and arms. The chest and torso. Hips and legs. And the feet. And then come back up through the back of the body. Lower back, upper back, and the head. And just notice if there's anything that feels maybe a little tight. And just invite yourself to let that go. And bring your awareness to your breath. Feel the breath coming in and out through your nose. all the way down into the abdomen. And if you find that your mind starts to wander throughout the practice today, just recognizing that you're having a thought and then bringing your awareness back to the breath. Gently begin to deepen the breath. Bring in some gentle movement, wiggling the fingers and toes. And let the head be heavy and just give it a little rock from side to side. And then if you're seated, taking your time, make your way down to lying down on your back. And bringing the arms down by the sides. And on your inhale, bring those arms up and overhead. And on your exhale, bring the arms back over and down by your sides. Feeling that full length of the breath as you inhale through the nose. And feeling the whole length of the exhale through the nose as you come back down. Notice the breath coming into the abdomen and then moving up into the chest and then maybe even up to the shoulders. And then reversing on the exhale back down. Nice, slow, and steady breath. The next time you come to the top, leave your hands up there. Inhale, reach. And on the exhale, slide your upper body a couple inches over towards the right. And then slide your feet a couple inches over towards the right, creating a little C. Take some deep breaths here into the left side of the body, opening up the rib cage, creating some space in the spine. Breathing all the way from the bottom up to the armpit. And then on your next inhale, bring it back to the center. And on the exhale, coming over to the left side. Upper body a little bit to the right, left, and the feet a little bit to the left. And then breathing into that right side of the body. Really feel the opening in the ribs here. If you feel any cramping or anything in your back, then just back off a little bit. It's creating some space in the spine. On the next inhale, come back to the center and hug those knees into the chest. And give yourself a little rock from side to side, hip to hip and shoulder to shoulder. Massaging the back, bringing the head along. And then pause and holding on to the knees. Just circle those knees around in one direction. Massaging the lower back, a little circle on the sacrum. And then pause and go the opposite direction. And then pause. Slide those hands back behind your legs and we'll begin to love up the knees. So inhale, raise the feet towards the ceiling. On the exhale, bring the feet back down. And see if you can splay out those toes if it doesn't cause any cramping. Create a little more space. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Lubricating the knees. This is really good for your knee joints. And the next time you come to the top, hold it up and point and flex the toes. Forward and back. Mine are really cracky today. That's okay. And then circle the ankles in one direction. And then circle the ankles in the opposite direction. Hug the knees into the chest. And then drop the feet down to the floor with the knees bent. And put your hands on your belly. And we're going to begin to do some pelvic tilts here. So on your inhale, tilt your pelvis so that you're rocking up on your tailbone. On the exhale, tilt the pelvis so that the lower back is pressing into the floor. You may also feel a press into your feet. Inhale, rock up on the tailbone. Exhale, tilt the pelvis and press the lower back into the floor. Inhaling up and pressing down. Just a slight movement here with the pelvis. Pairing the movement with the breath. And then adding on to this, so on the inhale, rock up on the tailbone. On the exhale, as you press the lower back into the floor, see if you can draw the belly button into the spine and add a little low belly squeeze here. So inhale, release, rock up on the tailbone. Exhale, press the lower back into the floor and then squeeze through the belly. Inhaling, release. Exhale, squeeze through the belly. Drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Just noticing how your abdominals feel. Add that squeeze. And then release. And then roll yourself up If you want to cross at the legs and continue all the way over up into table, and you can adjust back on your mat. And then some cat-cow here. So on your inhale, drop your belly towards the ground, lift the head and tailbone. On the exhale, arch up, pressing the hands into the ground. Tailbone and head come down towards the ground. Inhale, drop the belly down. Exhale, arching up into that cat. Moving through the spine, feeling all those vertebrae stretching out, and really pressing those hands down into the ground as you come into that cat. And then inhale down, and this time as you arch up into cat, see if you can add that low belly squeeze. So add the squeeze on the exhale. And then on the inhale, release back down. Exhale, arching up into cat and squeeze the lower belly. Inhale, release back down. Exhale, arch up, press the hands, squeeze the lower belly, and then release back down. And do one more. And then when you come back to center, hold here. Inhale through center. And then on the exhale, we're going to slide the hips over towards the right side and then drop the shoulder towards the right, creating a little C with your back. Inhale through center and then exhale to the opposite side. So keeping the neck nice and long. Gaze is between the hands, so looking between the hands. Inhaling through center, exhaling to the side. One more to each side. And then coming back to the center. And in our table position here, now, if you have a hard time with wrists or you have any kind of wrist issues, you can always grab a block here because we're going to be spending some time in this position. You can always grab blocks if you have them. If not, that's okay. You can always come up on your fists as well if it's too hard being in the tabletop position here. So coming into our tabletop, take the right leg and press back through the heel, straightening the right leg. Engage that lower belly, pulling it in, and then lifting that right leg. Press out through the heel and press out through the crown of the head like you're trying to reach them towards the opposite walls. Squaring the hips towards the ground, trying not to lift one hip higher than the other. Keep them square. Breathing deep into the belly. And then release back to center. And then coming to the other side. So left leg is going to press back, heel back, engage the lower belly, and then lift the left leg off the ground. Pressing back, toes are facing the ground, so flexed foot. Reaching out through the crown of the head and reaching out through the heel of the foot. Breathing deep into the belly. In and out through the nose. And then coming back to center. Coming back to the right side. So pressing the right leg back. Engage the lower belly. Lifting the right leg. And then to add on to this, if it feels okay, you can reach up with the opposite arm. So left arm coming out. Right leg going back. Reaching out through the fingertips, reaching out through the heels. Breathing. And then come back to center. Other side, press the left leg back. Engage the lower belly, lifting the left leg, and then if it feels okay, reaching out with that opposite arm, pressing out through the hand, pressing out through the foot. Breathing deep, relax and soften where you can. Soften your jaw, shoulders. And then come back to center. And press those hips back into a child's pose. And if you can reach your head down to the ground, you can set your head down on the ground and relax those arms. If that doesn't work for you, then you can stack your fists and rest your head on your fists. And just take a moment and just notice how your abdominals feel. The space behind your belly button. Breathing deep into the belly, feeling the belly pressing into the legs. And then reaching the hands out in front and really anchor the hands so that you're pressing through the knuckles of the hands. And then curl the toes under and press away, press the mat away from you and press the hips towards the back of the room. Pressing into the knuckles of the hands. Press away. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Make sure that the neck is nice and loose and able to move. The knees can be bent. Just think about lengthening through the spine and pressing the hips back towards the back wall. Nice deep breaths. And then walk the feet up to meet the hands. Slowly roll yourself up to standing. Taking a moment. And once you come up, we'll start with some shoulder rolls. So rolling the shoulders back. And then pause and roll them towards the front. Keeping nice and loose and soft in the knees, maybe a little sway side to side. And then one more time to the back. And then take those arms and scissor them across. Again, nice and loose in the knees, and opposite arm goes on top each time, so alternating the arms. And then step those feet a little wider than hips distance apart. Hands to the hips and do some big hip circles here. Like you're scraping all the sides of a barrel all the way around. Keeping nice and loose in the knees. Just notice the nice little massage it's giving the feet. And then pause and go the opposite direction. Nice big circles. And then pause. And we'll step in and find our mountain pose. So just noticing the feet, if you want to do a little rock back and forth, trying to find the middle of the feet here. Knees are nice and soft. Pelvis in line with the back. Shoulder blades pressed back and down. And hands open to the sides. Elongate through the neck with just a slight chin tuck here. Just pressing the neck back to keep it nice and long. And just take a moment and find your balance here in your mountain. Noticing your feet and how the weight is distributed on your feet. And trying to get in the sweet spot that's right in the middle of equal pressure between the front and the back. And then once you find that spot, on your next inhale, we're going to come up on our toes. And then on the exhale, come back down. Trying to keep the ankles nice and straight. And try and make this movement so that it's pairing evenly with your breath. So coming up on the inhale, nice and slow, so that you're at the top of your inhale. And then as you exhale, you're coming down nice and slow so that you're at the bottom of your exhale. So inhaling up nice and slow, exhaling, come back down. And it's okay to stumble around, that happens. We're just checking in with our balance. Sometimes it helps if you have an object or something on the floor that you can look at, we call it a drishti. Non-moving object, helps with your balance and concentration. Strengthening the ankles and the legs. Let's do one more here. And then coming back to center. And then we're going to turn to the long side of our mat here. And bringing the right foot in the front and the left leg in the back. And just do a little rock back and forth here. So forward and back. And feel around for that place where it feels like your hips are square with the front of your mat. Sometimes you might need to play around with it and move those feet a little around. Just find that space with the feet not directly behind each other, but kind of like on railroad tracks. And then once you find that spot, with both toes facing towards the front, the back toe turned out slightly, maybe 45-degree angle. Go ahead and pause. And then bring in a bending and straightening in this front leg. And as you bend and straighten, looking down at the relation between your knee and your ankle. And if you see that as you're bending and straightening that the knee is going out farther than the ankle, kick that foot out a little bit farther. Helps protect your knees if you keep the knee back behind the ankle or directly above. And then pausing down in that bent knee, pulling the shoulder blades back. And then if it feels okay, inhaling the arms up and over, shoulder blades back and down, drawing together in the back. If this is too much on your shoulders, then bring your arms out to a goalpost. Palms facing in. Breathing deep into the belly. Just noticing where you feel this the most. And then on your next inhale, reach up. On the exhale, turn the palms down and start to lean forward, leading with the chest. And then on the inhale, coming back up. So keeping the shoulder blades together in the back and the back, head, neck in a nice straight line, leading with the chest as you inhale up and exhale down. Pressing the tailbone back behind you and out away from you so that it's keeping the spine in a nice straight line. And the next time you come down, hold. Press evenly into both feet. Check in with those hips. Notice if they're square to the front. Gaze is on the ground. Hands are palms facing up back behind you. Breathing. And then release back to center. And then step up that back foot a little bit here. Give yourself a little bit of space. Just jump it up a little bit. And then coming into that same motion, but this time we're going to have the front leg straight. And we're just going to kick that back foot. See if we can lift it up off the ground. If that doesn't work for you, that's okay. Touch your toe down to the ground. If your foot is able to come off the ground, then flex the foot and press that heel out back behind you. And again, push the arms back with the palms facing up back behind you. And just check on your balance here. Keep the supporting leg soft. Breathing. And then when you're ready, just stepping that foot back down. And then come together and give it a little shake. In case there's any tension in the legs. And then we'll come into the other side. So left leg to the front. Give it a little rock, front and back. Feel for where those hips are square to the front of the mat. And then go ahead and land the feet. Again, both toes facing towards the front, but the back toe facing out slightly. And then come into that bending and straightening of that front knee. Noticing where your knee is in relation to the ankle. Make sure you're still breathing in and out through the nose. Sometimes as we begin to create a little more heat, our tendency is to try and breathe through our mouth. Try and fight that and breathe through the nose. And then coming down into that warrior one, pushing that back hip towards the front hip toward the back to square off those hips. And then inhaling those arms up overhead, if that feels okay, or out into goalposts. Pulling the shoulder blades back and down. Bring those pinkies kind of in towards each other. And just notice if that feels any different on your arms, if you pull the pinkies in. Breathing deep into the belly. And then on the next inhale, reach up. On the exhale, hinging from the hips, leading with the chest, and bending towards the front. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, reaching down, bending from the hip. Extending the tailbone back away from you. And the next time you come down, hold. Feel the energy in the legs. Pull the shoulder blades together in the back. And then coming back up to center and step that back foot up a little bit. And again, coming into that same motion, but this time we're going to lift that back leg. So tipping from the hip, pressing the hands back and pressing the right leg. Heel, if you can lift your leg back away from you. Try and keep those hips square. Don't let one come higher than the other. And then when you're ready, coming back down. And give those legs a little shake. Just notice the energy coming through the legs. And then we're gonna do a little twist here. You can tap your sides as you twist. Picking up the opposite heel as you come from side to side. And then we're gonna make our way down. So swinging those arms out. And then coming down to our mat, onto our bellies. And when you come down onto your belly, I don't know if you can see me here, but either stacking the hands or stacking the forearms and then placing the forehead on the hands. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears. And take a few breaths here. And just notice your belly pressing into the mat on your inhales and relaxing back out on your exhales. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the jaw. And then take an inhale. And on your next exhale, begin to squeeze those glutes together on your exhale. And then on the inhale, release back out. And as you're squeezing your glutes, see if you can make it a nice and slow squeeze so that for the entire exhale, you're squeezing in, kind of like it's spiraling in. You'll feel your legs coming in towards each other. The heels maybe come in towards each other. And then as you inhale, make it nice and slow and come back out. Trying to slow down that contraction so that it works with the entire breath. So exhaling, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale, release, nice and slow. Exhaling, squeeze. Getting tighter, tighter, tighter. And then release, release, release. Inhaling, release. Exhaling, squeeze. And then pause. Just notice how your glutes feel. And then this time we're going to inhale, exhale, squeeze everything together. And then on your next inhale, lift the legs up off of the floor, just a little bit, a couple inches, and hold. Breathing deep into the belly as you hold. And then exhale and release back down. And then we're going to add the upper body. So bringing those hands down by your sides with the palms facing down. And the forehead is going to come to the mat. With the back of the neck nice and long. So inhale, on the exhale, squeeze everything together. And then on your next inhale, lift the legs and then also lift the chest and the shoulders up off of the ground. And then exhale, drop it all back down. So inhale, exhale, squeeze your glutes. Inhale, lift everything up. And exhale, come back down. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze nice and slow. Inhale, lift everything up. And this time, hold that lift and take some nice deep breaths down into the belly. And feel your body rocking as you breathe. And then on the next exhale, go ahead and release back down and bring those arms back up under your forehead. And then kick those heels up towards the ceiling and just windshield washer the feet back and forth here. Just release any tension that may have come into the back there. And then set those feet down, bring the hands up, press yourself back into a child's pose. And again, you can either relax your head on the ground, or if that doesn't work for you, then stacking the fists. And take a couple nice deep breaths here and let that lower back just relax down towards the floor. Softening where you can. Soften through the shoulders. Let the jaw relax. And then rolling yourself up to a seated position. And just sitting over to one side and bring those feet out in front. And then we'll take the right leg and bend the knee. And then take the left arm and hug that arm around the knee. And then the right arm comes up overhead and back behind you with your hands tented. And just get a twist in here. Starting from the base of the spine and working your way up to the head last. On your inhale, see if you can get any taller. And on your exhale, see if your body might let you go a little bit farther. And then slowly begin to release back to the front. Set that right leg down and bring the left knee up. Bring the right arm around that knee, hugging it in. Then the left arm comes up and over and back behind you, tenting the hands. Or if you have a block, sometimes that helps too. You can use the block to get a little taller. On the inhales, get taller. And on the exhales, see if your body will let you twist maybe a little farther. And then slowly begin to unwind. Coming back to the front. And set that other foot down. So both legs are out straight. And then flexing the feet. I don't know if you can see my feet on here. Flexing the feet. so that your toes are facing towards the ceiling. Bringing the hands back behind you and lengthening through the spine. And then gently begin leading with the chest to tip from the hip and lean forward. And only go as far as you can go without dropping the shoulders down. So keep the shoulder blades together in the back. That might not be very far, and that's okay. You'll still feel it. Elongate through the neck. Keeping the toes pulled back towards your nose, activating the legs. Breathing into the belly. And then go ahead and relax down. Let those shoulders fall down and reach to wherever you can reach, if it's your toes or your legs, wherever works for you. And just let your head be heavy and just relax it down here. And then gently roll yourself up. And then roll yourself back nice and slow onto your back. All the way down with the arms, palms facing down by your sides. And bring the knees so that your knees are about fist width apart. So if you were to hold your fist up between your knees, that's about how far you want your knees to be apart. If you have a block, you can always set a block in between your knees. That also helps you gauge the right distance here. So bringing the hands to the sides and pulling the shoulder blades together in the back. You may want to bring your feet in a little bit closer to your bum. And then on your next inhale, pressing strongly into the feet, pressing the hands into the ground and lifting the hips up off the ground. And then on the exhale, rolling back down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, press into the feet, pressing the hips up, pressing the knees out towards the bottom of the mat. And then exhale, lower back down, nice and slow. Inhaling, press up. Exhaling, press down. The next time you inhale and come up to the top, go ahead and hold. And you may be able to roll your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit here. And if you have really good flexibility in your shoulders, you may be able to clasp your hands and press underneath you. Otherwise, you can press your elbows down into the floor and reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Pressing strongly into the feet, pressing the knees out towards the bottom of the mat. Relaxing through the neck, relaxing the jaw. Breathing deep into the belly. One more nice deep breath. And then on the exhale, rolling nice and slow back down to the ground. And hug those knees into your chest and give yourself a little rock from side to side. And circle those knees around in one direction and give yourself a little lower back massage. And then pause and go the opposite direction. And then reach those feet out and reach those arms out and give yourself a nice full body stretch here. Maybe opening and closing the hands and wiggling through the feet. And then bringing those arms out by your sides. with the palms facing up. Just give those legs a little shake and let them fall wherever they fall. Coming into a nice, comfortable lying down position. If you would like to grab maybe a pillow or something for under your knees, or a light pillow or a folded up blanket for under your head, or a blanket to make yourself as comfortable as possible. Take a minute and prepare yourself for Shavasana. So coming into that comfortable lying down position, let the arms splay out from your sides. Let the legs splay out comfortably. Let your body be heavy into the floor. Feeling fully supported by the ground beneath you. Bring your awareness to your breath. Notice if it feels any different in your body now than it did before class. Bring your awareness to the crown of your head. Let the crown of your head sink down towards the floor. Let any wrinkles fall out of the forehead. Let the eyes sink into their sockets. Soften out through the cheeks and the ears. Notice the nose and the cooling sensation of your breath as you inhale, and the warming sensation as you exhale. Relax your jaw, your throat. Soften out through the collarbones and the shoulders. Coming down through the upper arm, the lower arm, into the hands. Feeling into the slightly curled fingers. Coming back through the wrist, through the elbow, and into the shoulder joints. And notice the space in your heart and chest. Notice the space in your abdomen, behind your navel. Softening down through the bowl of the pelvis. Down through the upper legs, the lower legs, into the feet, and each one of those toes. Coming back through the soles of the feet, up the back of the legs, back of the pelvis, lower back, upper back, back of the neck, back of the head, and back to the crown of the head. And as you breathe, breathe into all of those spaces of the body, as if the whole body is breathing. Bringing in nourishment, positive energy on your inhales, and cleansing any negativity on your exhales. Gently begin to deepen the breath. Bring in some gentle movement, wiggling the fingers and toes. Let the head be heavy and give it a little rock from side to side. If there's anything that you feel needs an extra stretch, go ahead and give it a stretch. And then when you're ready, roll over onto one side in the fetal position. Take a few moments. Nice deep breaths. And thank yourself for your practice today. And then when you're ready, pressing up into a seated position. Bringing your hands to heart center. Om Shanti, peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May there be peace in our hearts. May there be peace in our minds. May there be peace in our bodies, and may there be peace in the words that we speak. And take a moment to bow and honor the light in yourself. And honor the light in others. Namaste. Are you still with me?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Sometimes it's a little harder to teach if I can't see what you're doing or what your capacity is. So was everything okay?
Yeah, no, it was great.
Good. Perfect. All right. Well, you guys have a great night.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.